Children dead after a barge collides with a sailboat near Miami Beach. Making an appeal.
Well, I'm allowed to give her a pardon, but nobody's approached me with it.
Jeffrey Epstein's accomplice works to overturn her conviction in sex trafficking. Caplin News is live from our D.C. bureau. And all rise for Kids Court.
I really did enjoy seeing her stand up, be confident in front of the judge and plead her case.
A judge hears some of the most interesting pleas in their career. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Good morning, South Florida. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Stephanie Tenia.
And I'm Mauro Rueda. Today is Tuesday, July 29th, 2025.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
The Miami sailing community dealing with tragedy this morning after a collision between a boat and a barge. A tragic crash on the waters near Hibiscus Island turns deadly, leaving families devastated and raising new safety concerns.
Caplin's Gabriela Flores is live along Biscayne Bay with more details on what happened. Good morning, Gabriela.
That's right, Mauro and Stephanie. The Coast Guard is investigating after a barge hit a sailboat with 5 children and a camp counselor from the Miami Youth Sailing Foundation.
A barge collided with a small sailboat near Hibiscus Island at around 11:15 a.m. 6 passengers, 5 children, and a camp counselor were aboard when the impact threw them into the water. 2 girls, a 7-year-old and a 13-year-old, were pronounced dead at Jackson Memorial Hospital, while others were rescued and taken to the hospital. In a statement, the Coast Guard said, "Our hearts are with the families of those lost and all who have been affected by this tragedy. The Coast Guard will conduct a thorough investigation to determine the causal factors and identify steps to help prevent similar tragedies in the future."
The Coast Guard say more details will come soon. I'm Gabriela Flores reporting for Caplin News.
A plane crash in South Florida leaves 7 injured and miraculously no one dead. The single-engine airplane makes it only a mile after takeoff before crashing in Lake Worth. Investigators say the plane hit the top of a palm tree, a tree sign, and a passenger car before finally crashing to the ground.
Saw the pilot and the passenger leaving. One of them had a gash on his head, and the other one was just sitting up and talking, and everybody seemed to be okay.
All 4 people in the car and 2 in the plane were hospitalized, but are expected to make a full recovery.
This morning, 4 victims are dead, including an NYPD officer after a shooting in New York City. The incident happened in downtown Manhattan, leaving 4 victims. The shooter also shot himself and killed himself. Authorities identified the shooter as 27-year-old Shane Tamura, who lived in Las Vegas, and that he had a documented mental illness. Tamura carried an M4 assault rifle and moved through a high-rise building on Park Avenue. So far, investigators are working to determine Tamura's motives.
The resort community is dealing with tragedy this morning after a shooting. Police say 3 people were killed and several others hurt after a gunman opened fire at the Grand Sierra Resort in Reno early yesterday. The shooting happened near the front entrance and valet area. Authorities say the suspect was found, shot by police, and taken to the hospital. Nevada's governor says state agencies are now assisting in the investigation. Jeffrey Epstein's former associate takes her legal fight to the Supreme Court, while President Donald Trump is once again facing questions about his past ties to Epstein.
Our DC bureau reporter Laura Iglesias is live from Washington, D.C. with more on the story. Good morning, Laura.
Jeffrey Epstein's former girlfriend is pushing the Supreme Court to take up her appeal to overturn her sex trafficking conviction. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump, speaking from Scotland on Monday, addressed questions about his ties to Epstein, denied visiting his private island, and commented on his power to pardon Epstein's associate. Despite a trip abroad, President Donald Trump still can't escape questions about Jeffrey Epstein. In Scotland Monday, Trump took time off meeting with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer to answer questions about Epstein, trying to put distance between himself and the late convicted sex trafficker.
For years, I wouldn't talk to Jeffrey Epstein. I wouldn't talk because he did something that was inappropriate. I never had the privilege of going to his island, and I did turn it down.
Trump also denied a report by the Wall Street Journal that he sent Epstein a birthday greeting in 2003 that included a drawing of a naked woman and his signature.
I don't do drawings. I'm not a drawing person.
While Epstein's former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, is urging the Supreme Court to take up her pending appeal after a New York-based appellate court ruled against her. Despite being sentenced to 20 years in federal prison for carrying out a years-long worth scheme to groom and sexually abuse underage girls with Epstein, her attorneys argue that she should have been covered by a non-prosecution agreement Epstein made with federal authorities to plead guilty. They say, "We are appealing not only to the Supreme Court, but to the president himself to recognize how profoundly unjust it is to scapegoat Ghislaine Maxwell for Epstein's crime." When asked, Trump didn't rule clemency out. In the midst of a political firestorm over the Trump administration's handling of the Epstein files, Trump has said he's disappointed that the country hasn't moved on. As for Ghislaine Maxwell, the Supreme Court will likely decide this fall whether to take up the case. Reporting from outside the Capitol for Caplin News, I'm Laura Iglesias.
This morning, new video shows the moment a U.S. citizen was detained by Border Patrol agents and the Florida Highway Patrol. Video from the Guatemalan Mayan Center, a nonprofit base in Lake Worth, shows the tactics used to arrest undocumented migrants. Court records show 18-year-old Kenny Lainez Ambrosio charged with obstructing without violence. According to court records, police pulled over a landscaping truck for a commercial motor vehicle inspection. That's when Border Patrol detained Lainez Ambrosio, even though he was a U.S. citizen.
I mean, it's disrupting everything about our community. It's disrupting businesses, it's disrupting churches, it's disrupting everything about our day-to-day lives.
Court records show the man who took the video is scheduled to show up back to court on Wednesday, while Lainez Ambrosio will take anger management courses and perform community services.
From trade diplomacy to humanitarian concerns, President Trump's overseas agenda is packed with decisions this week that could shape both international relationships and the U.S. economy.
This morning, we take a closer look at the key meetings already underway and what's at stake for the administration in the days ahead. Our DC Bureau coverage continues with Rosaura Mendoza live from Washington. Good morning, Rosaura.
Good morning. Yes, President Donald Trump starts the week in Scotland with a key meeting, as a victory deadline looms at the end of the week and economic data may show the impact of Trump's trade policies. President Donald Trump stayed in Scotland Monday, where he hosted UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer and his Gov research. The two leaders talking about the hunger situation in Gaza, but also the recent trade deal. Trump came into Monday's meeting on the heels of announcing a framework deal with the European Union. That places a 50% tariff on most goods coming from the 27-member EU, and lowered the risk of translating trade war between the two entities that exchanged nearly $2 trillion worth of goods and services last year. Trump on Monday also told the framework the U.S. and U.K. came to last month.
Got it done, so I want to congratulate you on that, and it's a great deal for both. It brings unity. We didn't need unity, but it brings us even closer together. I think it's good for both parties.
Meanwhile, key members of Trump's trade team in Sweden Monday for new round of talks aimed at extending the current trade truce between the U.S. and China that has temporarily dialed back triple-digit tariffs until August 12. The White House faces another self-imposed deadline on Friday, August 1st, for setting tariff rates for more than 200 U.S. trade partners. The deadline will cap a blockbuster week that we also see the interest rate decision from the Federal Reserve on Wednesday, and the second quarter GDP report that look at us economic growth during April, May, and June, and the July jobs reports on Friday morning. Also on the agenda for Trump's Starmer Monday was the increasingly dire humanitarian situation in Gaza. Trump pushed back against comments from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that there is no starvation there, and said the U.S. will set up food centers. As President Trump finishes his meeting in Scotland, the focus now shifts to a busy week in Washington, with important trade deadlines, a key interest rate decision from the Federal Reserve, and new economic reports on the way. At the same time, the White House next steps on aid Gaza and trade talks with China could have a major impact around the world. In Washington, D.C. for Caplin News, I'm Rosaura Mendoza.
The Marlins looking to start another win streak as they visit St. Louis.
That's right, Stephanie. That's still ahead, and so is this story.
We wanted to do a day where people could come and learn about the basics of the justice system, the court system.
Kids take their discrepancies to court against their parents. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
See us dream. See us remember. See us protest.
You matter. Your feelings matter. Your identity matters. Everything about who you are matters.
See us fight back. See us rebuild. See us shatter stereotypes. See us inspire. See us united. See us now.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
For kids here in Florida where concerns are getting the attention they deserve. On Saturday, the Children's Advocacy Center of Southwest Florida hosted a kids' court where kids debate cases in a simulated courtroom guided by a real judge.
This was an opportunity for families to gain more knowledge about how the judicial system works. WFTS reporter Hunter Walterman has more on the story.
I do find probable cause on all counts.
Judge Robert Branning is used to hearing pleas.
And why do you want a corgi dog?
Because I want to play with it. Lana has one just because she...
Maybe not like this.
Okay.
He kept the robes, but ditched some coffee for apple juice this weekend. The Lee County judge presiding over kids' court Saturday.
We're going to begin by giving you a corgi right now.
Held by the Children's Advocacy Center of Southwest Florida, kids got to make their case with a real prosecutor.
One request was just 1 day a year to be able to stay up late.
In front of a real judge.
A lot of fun. The kids made some really good points.
With dads on the defense.
Feel like I won, but everybody said that I lost.
JJ Wheeler is with Level Up Dads. It's a program at the center designed to help dads spend more time with their kids and learn something new.
We wanted to do a day where people could come and learn about the basics of the justice system and the court system.
A request the judge was happy to grant, taking questions from kids and dads.
How do you stay neutral in hearing everything?
My role is to take the law and apply that law impartially.
Not everybody got what they want.
I still feel like we should be going to Puerto Rico and Pennsylvania.
But both parents and kids tell me they got something out of it.
I really did enjoy seeing her stand up, be confident in front of the judge, and plead her case.
Thank you all.
In Fort Myers, Hunter Walterman, Fox 4.
A surprise move out of Las Vegas. A former Miami Dolphins star is suddenly out of a job. The Las Vegas Raiders have released defensive tackle Christian Wilkins. Sources say Wilkins kissed a teammate on the head during practice last week, and that teammate reported the incident. But according to reports from ESPN, that's not the only reason the team decided to cut ties.
The Miami Marlins got off to a rough start in their series against the St. Louis Cardinals. The Marlins lost the second game in a row as their offense struggled against the Cardinals starting pitcher Andre Palante, who allowed only 1 hit in 7 scoreless innings. Final score was Marlins 1, Cardinals 7. The two teams will face each other once again tonight in St. Louis at 7:45 p.m. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut, the one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink, or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking, now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed, better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead, catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other
on a deeper level. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
With graduation just being 1 week away, today will be our last day anchoring for Newsbreak.
You're right, Stephanie, and we would like to thank all the professors who have helped us get to this point, including Charles Strauss,
Professor Carella, and Professor Martinez Bustos.
It's been an absolute honor and a pleasure to be here with you in the desk, with everybody in the audience. It's been the adventure of a lifetime.
We would also like to thank all the students that made this show possible every single morning. And with that being said, that's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Stephanie Tenia.
I'm Mauro Rueda. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.
Pause